Hi. I talked to my insurance company. I'm Angelo, by the way. Been homeless for nearly a year. I was sleeping in my car the other week and somebody crashed into it. I woke up and the car is destroyed, going through insurance and all that. My insurance company said they're gonna give me a check, or maybe they'll just deposit it, of $4,500, or just under $4,500 for my car. So that should be coming. I don't know exactly when, but it's coming. So now the question is, by the way, there are wildfires around here, so it's like you can see the haze of smoke over the mountains. Here, let's get that shot. So that's why I have the mask on. I can smell it a little bit. There we go. Got a little thumbnail. But they say don't breathe it in, have protection on your face, basically. So smell a little strong. I don't know if it was the smoke or not, but I'm getting the $4,500, so I'm gonna have to start thinking about what car. And I've already been thinking about it, but specifically, how am I going to go about looking at cars, bringing them over to a mechanic? Do private sellers normally even allow people to do test drives? It's weird, you don't hear about that, but I would have to test drive it. I'm not taking any chances. And someone who's, sure about their car, they'll let me do it. They might want to look at my license first and not registration, my insurance card, just to be sure. And they probably should. But I want to do that and then bring it over to a mechanic, and hopefully the mechanic knows what they're doing. And they look at it and they either say, yeah, it's got a bunch of problems or some problems, and maybe I'm willing to take it anyways, maybe not, maybe I'll get the price lower. I don't know why this is bent. Or just pass on it. So if anyone out there watching has a car, I'm looking for either Toyotas, all sedans. There's an outside chance I'd consider like a Toyota pickup truck, because it would be nice for working on film sets. But I really want a sedan. I want something good gas mileage, and also pickup truck. The problem is I can't, unless it has rear seats, it's not going to be much space for me. Okay, so I can't really take a pickup truck because I need space for all my stuff. And I got a lot of stuff, so it's not going to work in a pickup truck. So a sedan, either stuff like Toyota Corollas, Camrys, Toyota Matrix, maybe, if they're cheap enough. Got to be under $4,500 again. And remember, so I'm really trying to keep it, if I could, around $3,500 max. So, anything I get is probably going to have over 100,000 miles and all that. Unless there's somebody out there who just wants to give up their car. And, there's like old people who they can't drive anymore. They want to sell their car. Sometimes someone dies and their family needs to sell their car. But whatever the case, I'm looking at giant cherry picker in the distance. If anyone has a car out there, like I said, those Toyota models I talked about, for $3,500 or less. Honda Civics. I don't know about Accords so much, because I've heard that their transmissions aren't so great. All automatics. I'm not looking for manual cars. Honda Civics, that's a big one. Now also Lexus, since they're made by Toyota, I would consider getting an old one of those. So I'd have to go look, make sure, they're all pretty much in working order. There's certain little things maybe I'd, be willing to accept. Obviously, older cars, they're going to have some problems. But I'm going to look at it thoroughly. By thoroughly, I mean feel along, see if there's been any body work done that they haven't told me about because of an accident. Look under the car, tap around, make sure it's not flaking off and brittle. Look in the radiator, make sure the coolant looks right. Look at the tires. Inside, look around, test all the knobs, test all the windows. Maybe there's an outside chance I would also take just a really old beater for, like, if someone wants to get rid of it for a few $100. If I knew I could repair it. It's not that I'd prefer that to the other, because I'm going to end up spending money on it either way. But if I could repair stuff myself, you know, I'm starting to learn how to do that. I got some tools. I'd be willing to get more tools if I knew I could work on it. Just, again, the thing is, with a really old car, it doesn't matter how well built it is, it's going to have some problems probably. The other thing, I mean, unless you've been driving it with really low miles. The other thing, maybe older Volvos, because Volvos are super safe, man. They're like tanks. But older ones, like 2007 and back. I did see a 2006 Volvo with about 100,000 miles. No problems on it that they say, about $3,600. So that's one I'd consider. I'd look at 100,000 miles isn't a ton of miles, so I'd consider it. I'd look at it and see, and bring it to, and if it all checks out, bring it to a mechanic. What else was I thinking about? Yeah, I guess that's it. Not really interested in Nissans, because, you know, I heard they're not that well made anymore. Maybe the older ones, but the older ones gonna have a lot of problems because they're old. So again, I'm mainly thinking Toyotas, Hondas, and Lexus. An older Lexus, you know, with 100,000 miles or more. It's been well maintained. You know, I'm willing to get cars that have been in accidents. It just, they got to tell me about them, and then I got to look around and see, like, does it affect anything on the car? Is it, you know, sagging one side or the other? Is everything, you know, sitting right? And is anything majorly corroded under the car? That's the main thing. I want to see if they're honest. And then, you know, also no salvage titles. Yeah, they might work, but I'm not willing to take the chance. I don't need to. And I don't want to miss anything with the inspection from the mechanic. But I do want sedans. I need something that's small so it's easy to park, good on gas mileage, relatively simple to maintain. I want to be able to do as much work on it as I can myself. Be nice even just to do my own oil changes if I could. Although really, there's a place around here that does oil changes for like $30 with a car wash. So it's like, okay, I mean, how it makes just as much sense. Just go to them. Well, last time I got synthetic oil, ooh, ice cream, and it was like, how much? 40, 50, maybe $60. I don't remember. Oh man, I got it right before my car was destroyed, like 2 months before it, and yet it was gonna last, like, the oil was supposed to last like 6,000 miles. I'm sure I didn't even drive 1,000 miles or 500. So $4,500. What do you think that can get me? If anyone has a car they're willing to help me out on, you know, that you know it's been maintained well and it runs well. I'd even make a video possibly of showing how to inspect a car if you wanted me to. And, you know, show people what you should look for. I mean, I would try and look at everything possible before I even bring it to a mechanic, because then by the time I go to a mechanic, I'm ready to go to a mechanic. I want to make sure it's worth it to pay the mechanic. If I already see there's something I don't want on there, like, you know, the car sags in one direction when I drive, the air conditioning or heat doesn't work, you know, radiator looks bad, the coolant's discolored, you know, it's leaking oil or burning oil. So now some cars, older cars, are gonna burn oil. If it's not too much, might live with it. I don't know. But no salvage titles, and the title has to be in your name. So nobody selling cars for a dealership. I want it in your name. You know, I want to know the history of the car. I want to look underneath it, look at the tires, all that. I want to see that basically you value it. And I want to know why you're selling it too. You know, are you just selling it just because you want a new car? Just because it's too many problems, because you're moving, because you plan on using public transportation. So, you know, I got to know all that too, not taking chances. So let me know if you want to, you know, talk about selling your car to me. I'm in Los Angeles, so the Los Angeles area, basically. I really shouldn't go too far in a way, because I'm going to have to rely on rides no matter what. So I'm going to have to park my rental somewhere and then either get someone or get a Lyft to give me a ride. So Los Angeles area. Hey, if you like my videos and you want to sell me the car, let me make a video about it. At least that'll help me out, you know, help me and let me show others what to look for when buying a car. Because really, most cars are crap. Dealerships are crap. Most cars are poorly built. They're built to get as much money as possible with the cheapest parts that'll break down, poorly built. I was watching a Scotty Kilmer video where he shows today, well, why he thinks BMWs are crap cars. He's like, yeah, they're beautiful, they handle well, they drive well, and then look at how you have to fix a simple thing on it. He took it off. He's like, yeah, it looks beautiful under the hood, but then that's because all the engine components are covered up with cheap plastic, so that retains heat too, and that heat absorbs into parts that are going to break, like these plastic parts. So he had to take everything out. There's very little room to work, so it's senseless and it's expensive to fix. And in some BMWs, not all mechanics have the parts to fix them. Like the M series, they're very complicated to fix and require a lot of work and expensive tools. And so some mechanics just won't work on them. So, you know, I want to show people, hey, let's try and push these car companies to make good cars, good solid cars, instead of making junk that breaks down after 100,000 miles. You know, we got to show them, so like push them, like, hey, you got to stop screwing with people and making the crappiest cars possible. Make good cars and we'll support them. But people buy, now a lot of people buy used cars, but a lot of people are buying these junk crap cars because they don't know better, and I see it all the time now, and it's unbelievable, thinking, yeah, you buy a Fiat or something, they're junk. You buy a Chrysler, they're shit. I used to drive those. I hated driving them at Enterprise. Yeah, first 100,000 miles, they may last, they may run well. After that, they're junk. They break down a lot. A lot of them have bad transmissions. They got cheap plastic parts, and dealers are rip-offs. They'll tell you all kinds of things need to be fixed. They'll tell you certain things need to be fixed that aren't on the warranty. It's pathetic. If you build the cars well, they'll last a long time. And, you know, we also have to show them, hey, you're going to be left crying and whining if you keep making crappy cars, and you don't, and we go buy better ones that are maybe used, like Toyota and Honda make. So let me know if you're interested, or if you find them. I'm just looking on Craigslist, maybe, and Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace. And when the time comes, as soon as I get that payment from my insurance company, I got to start right away, because I might be paying for a rental, or it doesn't matter. Even if I get my rental extended, I got to get on this quick, because the rental's not going to last forever either. So let me know. You can message me, you know, whatever, on social media if you got a car or you know of one, or email me, flyingovertroutam@gmail.com, trout spelled with a 0. And I don't know exactly how long it'll be. It might be a few days, I guess, before I get the payment. But you let me know. I will be very appreciative. And know that I'm going to look at these cars thoroughly. I'd rather extend my rental or pay extra for rental if it means that I can get a car and be confident that I looked at it thoroughly, that I got someone who's, you know, selling it and is telling the real story about the car, and that it'll last me several years. All right. Click like, all that stuff. Hey, wear masks if you're out in the areas around the wildfires. And don't eat too much ice cream. This stuff's not good for you.